There we go. Some more light. Hello, 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 everybody. Nice to see you today. It's 7 p.m. here in the French Riviera. I don't know what time is it where you live. Um, we're just starting our live session today, which will be about renting in the French Riviera. Sorry, I always have a hard time saying French Riviera. I don't know why. Riviera in Italiano, it's easier. So, so today we'll speak about renting a place in the French Riviera. We have already somebody say hello, yeah, in the chat. Where you come from? Salut d'Italie, mais bientôt en France. Okay, where are you in Italy? Are you living there permanently? I mean, long time, or just was a temporary stay in Italy? Bonjour, il est midi heure centrale. CST noon CST. Hi Andrea. Welcome to this live session. Sempre Italy. That was funny. Sempre Italy. So you must be there for a long time. Sempre Italy. Sempre. It's always Italy. So I don't have the first name, but I have the nickname. Sempre Italy. Yeah. So sorry. Today we speak about renting in France, renting in the French Riviera, and we're having this live sessions every month. So the next one, and then we try to do one about renting, one about buying. So the next one will be on September 17th, and it will be about buying. So normally today I will only answer questions about renting, but okay, if you have a question about buying, I can still answer it. So Campania, I've lived here for 10 years. Oh wow! So you're in Italian now. But talking to Jessica about the move. No more sempre Italy. Oh well, okay. Well, maybe it will be sempre, oh, toujours France. So Jessica works in our team, and she's in charge of finding the rentals, the properties for our clients, and she's very good at what she does. She's a gem, actually, and she's been working for us for more than 6 months now, probably 8 months, and she's doing great in a difficult job because it's not very easy to manage rentals and rental search here in France. But we are quite successful. So if you have questions, please write them in the chat. I will be very happy to answer them. Today in Nice and the French Riviera, the weather was a little bit rainy. Hopefully, because it was a hot summer this time. We had a couple of heat waves. No climate change, huh? No, not at all. But we had more than ever, and so we had quite a hot summer. Today was rainy, perfect. Thank God, a little bit of freshness coming up, so that was good. I have a couple of questions that I received by mail before, so I don't know if the persons who send me the questions are connected. The live session is recorded anyway, so you can find it after in our YouTube channel. So I will just write here. Well, probably if you're connected, you know my YouTube channel, but I will just write it's at French Riviera House Hunting, French Riviera House Hunting. And in in our YouTube channel, you can find the recordings of the live sessions. You can find videos about living in the French Riviera, videos about the different places, cities, real estate, lifestyle, information about living here. You have some video podcasts also that we do. At the moment, we have done, I think, 4, and the 5th one is coming. It's podcast that we do with our clients. So they tell their story, why and how they move here, how the process go, what is like living here. So it's pretty useful information, and we'll soon open also to some partners. So you have mortgage brokers, lawyers, etc., so that you have also more practical information also. And I will also write down our email if you have a question that you didn't ask during the live and you want to send it to us. So it's info@fr-househunt.com. Okay, so you got all the information to reach out if you need to. Um, so I had a first question. So first question from Tom. Oh, almost like Sempre Italy. Been living in Spain for quite some time and wants to move to France, French Riviera. First question is: are utilities, electricity, water, gas, internet included in the rent? And there was a second question: is there a separate charge for maintenance or service fees? Okay, no. So the utilities are not included in the rent, generally speaking. That's for short-term leases, but for long-term leases, 1 year or more, utilities are separate. Electricity, water, gas, internet, generally speaking. So electricity, gas, internet, they are invoiced by the company that you've chosen. And water is generally included in the condominium expenses. So it will be charged by the owner in the condominium expenses that can be charged to the tenant. Um, and otherwise, yeah, electricity, water, and internet. Electricity, gas, internet charged directly. In terms of prices for internet, you can expect about 40 to 50 euros per month. Internet and generates internet and TV, internet, TV, telephone line, and of course, then if you want to subscribe to different TV providers like HBO, Apple TV, whatever you have to, Netflix or Amazon, you have to pay on top. But just to get I would say the service, the line, it's 40, 50 euros per month. Um, Electricity, for a two-bedroom apartment, expect 100 euros per month or a little bit more now. And gas, about the same, more or less, depends on the use. But it depends if you have heating or not with gas, but yeah. And is there a separate charge for maintenance or service fees? So yes, there is basically when you see a listing, you will have always noted the rent and the expenses. So c'est loyer et les charges. You have the two informations. There is a list of all the condominium expenses that the landlord can charge to the tenant, and this list has to be included in the lease. So you have everything in that is detailed in the list. It's in French, of course, but of course we translate it, but it's there. So there's a certain amount of condominium expenses that can be charged to the tenant by the owner. Question in the chat. Sempre Italy. I noticed in many parts of the Riviera, like on Tibes, the rentals can be seasonal only. Season only off season. If I do that, would I need the same dossier as a full-time rental? Off season. Oh, you mean, yeah, sorry, you mean, yeah, like short, like rents from in the winter time for like 6 to 7, 8 months. No, it's quite different actually. You don't really need that full dossier. You will be, yes, I mean, you will be asked for information, of course, but the difference is that you certainly will go through, or what we do is that we go through um, seasonal renting property management companies that do seasonal renting, and they usually manage the apartments all year long, and so they can place tenants in the month where there is no seasonal renting. So but they still want to see, of course, your financial situation, to be sure that there will be no problem in paying the rent. So it's a little bit different, I would say. It's because the rent mode is different, but they still want information. Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's talking about the dossier. Basically, that what we generally need for in the dossier for a rental. Of course, financial situation, your ID, of course, proof of ID, etc. And we work, we always work with GuarantMe .fr, which is a French guarantor company. We always use it, sorry, because it opens a lot of it opens more door because they're more flexible actually than the estate agencies, because they take into consideration not only your income but also your savings, which normally agencies don't do here. They only take into consideration the income. So that's why we use them, because it's again, it opens more doors. So now, this being said, not all agencies accept GuarantMe. So, but it opens. But for us, we've noticed that it really helps in getting our clients into apartments. So tax returns, your bank statements, any proof of income and saving, you have to provide them so that you have a clear situation, a clear view of your financial situation. That's very, very important. What other question I had? Question from Patrick and Helen from Denver. I've seen all your videos. Yeah, okay. Great insights. Thank you. And oh, size. How many square feet, more or less, for a two-bedroom? Good question. So the size of apartments here, well, smaller than in the US, definitely, but and houses too. But let's say that okay, a one-bedroom apartment is in between 30 to 50 square meters, more or less. It can be a little bit more, of course, or more. But let's say average 40 to 50, 40 to 50. Two bedroom 60 to 80, and three bedroom 80 to 100 or more. And yeah, so let's say that we're in between. Yeah. So a two bedroom would be about in between 60 to 80. Generally speaking, let's say 70, 75 square meter for a two bedroom. I had a question from again. So another question about utilities. Water, gas, electricity individually metered. Yeah, so that's what I said before. So yes, electricity, yes, individually metered and invoiced, and gas also. And generally speaking, water, no. Water is generally in the condominium expenses. What should I expect to see in the lease? Okay, in the document. Okay. Oh wow, that's a big question. All right. Okay. Let me give me 1 second. I will open my document here so that I can tell you as much detail as possible. I won't go through everything because it's long, so we will spend 1 hour only on that. But I will let me open this document so I can tell you. These are the big parts that you can find in the lease here. Okay, so yeah, so first of all, of course, you have the description of who is renting and who's the landlord, who's the tenant, of course, who's the agency, the renting agency, and if there's a guarantor, who is the guarantor. Then you have the description of what is rented, the property description, the area of the property, and all the private equipment that is included in the apartment when you rent it. So if there's a balcony, a cellar, air conditioning, what is in the kitchen, etc., etc. You will have a description of what is in the private areas and what is in the common areas, and I said before, sorry, the furniture and appliances that you have in the apartment. Okay. If you're renting a furnished apartment, there's a legal minimum that must be there, which is a bed and a duvet, okay, tables and chairs, a cooking stove, refrigerator and freezer, kitchen utensils, lighting, and cleaning tools. Okay, that's the minimum you should find in a furnished apartment. Then, of course, you will have the lease duration and the start date of the contract. and all the financial conditions. So the amount, the rent amount, the condominium expenses amount, and the the expenses, the condominium expenses amount. So they include building maintenance, water, elevator maintenance, common electricity costs, heating if heating is collective, and the garbage collection tax. Generally speaking, the expenses are provision based, and then there are adjusted at the end of the year with when the owner has the final amount of condominium expenses. Then you have the payment method. So that's also important to consider, is that in France you would pay the rent by what we call a mandat SEPA, SEPA. It's basically you give the authorization to your bank to pay directly every month the rent to the agency. So for that you need to have a French bank account. And then you have the energy consumption estimates, and then you have a couple of clauses about the works and renovation that has been done in the apartment, the security deposit. So what would you pay as a security? Generally, it's 2 months of rent, and then the termination clause, the agency fees, of course, which are regulated in like almost all the French Riviera, all the big cities. It's 10 euros per square meter for the lease, and 3 euros for the inventory, moving inventory. So that's normally the agency fees should be only 13 euros per square meter. The agency was managing the apartment. Then you have all the additional obligations about the tenant, about the landlord, and then you have a lot of annex documents that I won't go through them now, but you have everything there really. I mean, everything is in the lease about the condo rules, condominium rules, extracts, the energy, the performance certificate, the asbestos electricity report, the moving inspection report, the furniture inventory, the guarantor contract, and the list of expenses that the landlord can charge you, and the list of repairs that are for which the tenant is responsible. So that's all the annex documents that you will find in the lease. So it's a very normally the lease is very well regulated. Of course, check everything. And the most important part is the make sure that the agency respects the rules about agency fees. I've noticed that in most regions of the French Riviera, like in Antibes, locations. Oh, sorry, that was your former question. Sorry. Is it more easy? I don't know. It's translating the questions. It's easier to find a 2-bedroom furnished, or is it easier to find a 2-bedroom furnished or an unfurnished apartment? 50-50, I would say. So no, a little bit more for furnished actually, because there are a lot of people who do seasonal renting, and there is a rotation of people stopping doing seasonal, and they put the apartment back to the long-term rental market, and so that's where you find more, maybe a little bit more furnished apartments in the market. But I would say really like, well, somewhere 50-50. Yeah. And I had one on my side, one last question about the notice you have to give from Mary, Los Angeles. Hello. How much notice do you need to give if you decide to move out? So normally it's 1 month for a furnished apartment and 3 months for an unfurnished apartment. But because we are in the French Riviera in what we call a tenth zone, we call it a tenth zone because it's difficult to find rentals, and that has some implications on what I said before. So it has an implication on the renting agency fees that are regulated. So again, it's 13 euros maximum per square meter for listing agency fees. And the other impact is on the notice. So they have shortened the notice also for unfurnished to 1 month. So basically, retain it's 1 month for furnished or unfurnished. So it's pretty easy to get out of a lease when you need to. For example, if you're moving to buy another apartment, or simply just moving, and you need to get rid of you need to stop your lease. So yeah, quite easy. You don't have to have a reason actually. So and that's very important too. You just have to notice the landlord that you will be living a month after. So yeah. That's all the questions I had on my side. I don't know, here with the month of August is very quiet, so I don't know if where you're connecting from it's quiet also. So maybe that's why I had less questions this time. So I think that last time we had like much more questions, many more questions. But um, that's all I had on my side. So if you have any questions, please go ahead, write them in the chat. I'll be very happy to answer now. If you don't have them now, but you think about the question after, please feel free to send an email to the email I wrote at the beginning in the chat. We'll answer to it. I'm also going to write down the email of Jessica, who takes care of our rentals here, so that you can write also to her directly. And, welcome. There we go, Jessica. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay. And I usually have a question that I didn't get this time, but it's about the difficulty to find a rental in the Riviera. So what I would say is that yes, it's difficult because the market is very, as I said before, the market is, we're in a tense zone, and we're classified as tense zone because it is hard to find a rental. Why? Because there is more demand than offer. For one main reason is that a lot of apartments are on seasonal renting. So basically, the number of apartments that are available for a long-term lease are it's a small part, and we've lost, for example, in the last 6 years now, probably 60% of the long-term inventory. So that's a lot of apartments that went from long-term rental to Airbnb. In Nice, there has been some regulations and laws that has been put in place to try to reduce the number of Airbnbs. The mayor has changed a couple of months ago, and he is more liberal, so there will be the regulations are going to be softened. So we don't know what will happen, but I know that in Cannes also it's very easy to do Airbnb at the moment, for example. So there are a lot of properties on Airbnb. So that's the main reason. And the problem is that for expats you are in competition with locals also that come to live here and work here from other regions of France. So you have usually for one apartment you have in between like somewhere 20 or 30 applicants, and the problem is that the main problem is that because in France the tenant is very protected, the landlords take an insurance to protect them from unpaid rent. And the thing is that the insurances that provide this insurances to the owners, to the landlords, they say, okay, we'll insure you, but we only want a French working contract, and that's it. So because they want to be able get the money back, it's easier with a French bank account. It's easier if you work in France, because, for example, they can take the money directly from the employer, things like that. So it means that all of these apartments are not available for expats. So That's another probably 50% of the apartments that are out of the market for expats. It's not impossible. We do it, so and we have quite a good success, but it's difficult. So do not expect coming to the Riviera and saying, "Okay, I'm going there." Boom! In one week, I will have my apartment. It's easy. No, it's not easy. It takes time. We usually manage to find apartments in 2 months contract duration. And sometimes it's 2 weeks, but sometimes it's until the end of the contract, really. So again, lower your expectations, be very flexible. I'm not saying that you have to accept any kind of apartment, but be flexible about your criteria to get a chance to find an apartment. Uh, Question, Andrea. So don't know what I pronounce it the Italian way. Andrea, it's Italian. Andrea, it's American. Or combien de temps? How much time? How long can I expect to be in an Airbnb before finding? How long can I expect to be in an Airbnb before finding an apartment if I move to Nice in December? I know it depends. It depends. uh, sorry, it depends. Not just what I just said before. So again, we have contracts for 2 months, and generally speaking, we succeed in those 2 months. So yeah, I would say that 2 months should be good. If you have already booked your Airbnb for a month, for 1 month, for example, or for just 2 weeks, to be sure that you can extend because you might need a little bit more time. So yeah, um, you've answered my question. Yeah, just did. Yeah. All right. Okay. Um, any other questions? By the way, just while I have you here, in January, normally next year, we have something that we will call, I guess, that's it's maybe not the final title, but it should be called the ultimate guide to buy or rent in the French Riviera, which will be come up. We hope to be able to sell it on Amazon. So it will be a big, big, big guide about buying or renting in France and French Riviera edition. So you have a lot of answers to the questions also there. Coming soon. Little spoiler. Um, any place near Nice, sempre Italy, any place near Nice that you would recommend? Maybe a smaller town but less tourism. Antibes is great. There you got the answer from John. Okay, thank you, John. Yeah, Antibes is great. It's true. Yeah, yeah. So one thing, it's difficult in the summer season. It's difficult to escape tourism. Really. But not all the neighborhoods of all the cities are packed with tourists. For example, in Nice, there are some neighborhoods that are kind of still quiet during the summer because the tourists are really in the same place. The old town, the Promenade des Anglais, and for example, in Nice, of course, in Antibes, of course, they will be on the ramparts in the old town. Of course, on all the beaches. But you have some yeah, again, some neighborhoods that are not completely impacted. So so again, yeah, it really depends for where you find the apartment. But again, yeah, there are neighborhoods that are not completely impacted. I like very much also Cannes-sur-Mer, which is just west of Nice, just outside Nice. Basically, you have Nice and Oran, Cannes-sur-Mer. Um, it's a little town. It's touristy in the summer, of course, like everything here, but not maybe a little bit less than the other ones. And it's quiet, but not dead in the winter. It's an interesting little city, actually, in close to Nice, Cannes-sur-Mer. And Antibes again, you have a couple of places packed of tourists, but not all of Antibes is full with tourists in the summer also. So and Nice neither. So if you, for example, I'm in Nice, if you go a little north to Libération, or which is just a couple of tram stops from the center, you escape from tourism. Um, And yeah, just to complete my to answer in more detail, actually, I would go more west because east is a little more difficult unless you're in Menton. But otherwise, east you have so it's not that it's touristy, that is expensive, and there are less offer in between. I would say Villefranche, after Villefranche, Cap d'Aille, all these places there. Monaco, well, of course, Monaco, it's different, but you have less opportunities and less so it's better either to go west from east west or Menton, which is different. Um, now, are French tenants getting grant me or just expats? No, again, John, question from John. So no, mainly French are. It's more for expats. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely more for expats because, as I said before, French who have sorry a French working contract have no problem basically. I mean, then the only other criteria is that they have to be able to have an income representing at minimum 3 times the rent. So if you want to rent from 1,000, you need to have minimum 3,000 income. But if you have a French working contract, then that you don't need the guarantee basically. So that's what I was explaining before. Again, guarantee is because the tenants takes those sorry, the landlord takes those insurances that to cover them from unpaid rent, and it's these insurance companies that insure them, the landlords, that say we insure you, and it's in their website. So it's kind of discriminating, but that's the way it is, and it says we insure you, but we only take a French contract, a tenant with a French contract. So that's why. That's the only reason why. And even if you have a guarantee, again, some agencies they won't take you because they don't. Because generally those agencies they are the ones who sell the insurances to the landlords. So they don't dare going to see a landlord saying, "Oh, by the way, the insurance we sold you is useless because we have people with guarantee." So and so they refuse to see it. That's it. So, but I mean, I don't know. I might sound a little negative, but I prefer to be honest and realistic. But it's feasible. It's feasible to rent in France. But I'm always trying to tell people, lower your expectations. Of course, you will be in a nice apartment, but and be flexible. That's super important. But we've had numerous clients to find a rental, so it's really feasible. Also, because we are now 4 years now in the business and of helping buyers and renters, and we start having kind of a good relations and a good network of agencies that know us and that they know that we bring them um, tenants with a good financial situation, so that and I don't think any of the agencies that we work with has had a problem with one of our tenants. So all right. Any other questions? Again, if you don't have a question now, send by email or next live session about renting, which will be so normally renting should be in October. The next one in September should be about buying. Will be about buying. Just wait a couple of minutes, see if there's a question coming. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up. I must say, I'm supposed to be on holidays. so, so let's wrap it up. Oh, man. Okay, merci beaucoup. Thank you. No, thank you for attending. Thank you for attending. Thanks for the questions. I love doing those live sessions and answering your questions. And I love welcoming you here and helping you discovering and settling in the French Riviera. So, John, musicien Wilson, the next up and coming neighborhood. Well, they're already come up. They came up already. uh, yeah, I mean, they're already expensive for buyers. The price per square meter is already expensive in both neighborhoods. Of course, a little bit less. Well, Wilson is really came up already. Yeah, yeah. And Musician depends which streets, but most of it is now pretty expensive too. A little less than Carré d'Or, but still. Now the upcoming, and there's a video about that. My last video was about that. The very upcoming neighborhood for me, it's Riquier. So Riquier, it's just you have the port area, and we call the port area so the port, and around the port, I would say like one couple of blocks around the port. And if you go up north, so starting from Rue Barla, Barla, I would just write it down here, Rue Barla, going up like 3, 4 blocks, even 5 blocks. It's called the Riquier neighborhood, and it was kind of a mix of working class neighborhood, but you also had at the time you had a lot of warehouses and things like that, and everything. I mean, it's really changing. The warehouses are disappearing, replaced by new builds, and it's this kind of gentrification of the neighborhood going on. Prices are going up, so it's really changing. That will be for me. That's the next really coming up neighborhood in Nice. Yeah, yeah. It will deserve a little bit of improvements. Also, I would say like we have in Musician or Wilson, we have a lot of um, works that have been done by the city hall to improve it, and I think that Riquier will be the next one. But it's already, I mean, it's already safe and it's to live there. So and it's really changing. Yeah. The rest, I mean, the whole city center of Nice it's really has come up already. Uh, I would say that maybe around the station you have some streets that are not so good at the moment, but it will change also probably. But yeah, you're welcome, John. Thank you. You're welcome. Um, all right. So if no other questions, I will see you maybe the next time. So next one, September 17th, about buying on the French Riviera. And in the meantime, feel free to contact us. Thanks for attending. Last 10 seconds for a question. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. See you soon. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.